Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is me, your girl, Goddess of Love and Truth Reacts, coming to you with another reaction video upload. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. All of you guys' support is truly and greatly appreciated. If you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet, be sure to click that subscribe button, click that bell notification for all so that you never miss an upload and so that you help me and my channel get in and remain in the YouTube algorithm. Liking the video does the same as well. All right, you guys, as a friendly reminder and to let you guys know that I do appreciate you supporting the channel, we are on the road to doing our very first of many subscriber givebacks. Once we reach the first milestone of 1,000 subscribers, and we're almost there, you guys. We're at 972 subscribers and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep liking, keep leaving the comments. Once we hit that 1,000, I'm giving away a total of $100. So two of my subscribers will receive $50 each via Cash App only. So don't miss out, okay? Thank you guys. Thank you guys. All right, y'all know what? Next up on the docket, y'all know what time it is. On the next episode of Beyond the Gates, Season 1, Episode 26. Again, I play way too much. All right, so we start off. Y'all know how we left off on yesterday where Danny and Bill kissed. And you know they are divorced and Bill is now married to Haley. Baby, why when they started off today? Of course, Bill pulled back, act like she just kissed him. Why did you kiss me? Even though she did. Danny did kiss him, but he kissed her back. He even put his arms around her. I remember saying that and seeing that. I got a picture of it, you know. I showed it yesterday. I don't have it today because I already deleted the other ones. But yeah, we saw him kiss her back. He put his arms around her. Now he mad. He want to say it was her fault and she kissed him and he was just coming over there because he wanted her to talk to the people at the country club and tell her friends and her crew to stop being mean to Haley and this and that there and the other. And she was like, boy, please. She was like, you was sitting here going down memory lane just like how I was going down memory lane and you felt something. You know you felt it, this and that there and the other. And he did because he wouldn't have kissed her back, baby. He kissed her back or whatever. But yeah, he's still a hot mess. I don't see why she want him or continue to try to get with him. Like, girl, that man is a nothing. He let him go. Let him go. But she also reminded him that he came over there for the deed because they selling that property. So, baby, I think I got some more pictures of them, but that's pretty much what all happened with them. So we won't rehash that. Yeah, he was looking all mad. So then we go to Joey and old Marcel Malone meeting up, child. And we're going to get back to them, child, honey. I was like, look how Joey looking at Marcel. So then we go here with Ashley and Derek. They're getting prepared for Andre to come over because Derek invited him to dinner last minute. So Andre makes it. They chilling. You're gonna have to see some more pictures of them as well, but I'm gonna just go on and get to the point. They chilling, they having dinner. Now remember, Shanice told him about the phone call. She was like, shortly after you get there, have a phone call and take that phone call and say it's urgent. That way, you able to get out. Well, he came over there and he was chilling. He stayed over. He had dinner. They was sitting there talking. He was trying to convince Derek that Derek should be a part of the documentary at the hospital. One, because of his interesting story of him being a firefighter and how he rushed into that building when it was already burning and collapsing. And then he also ended up at the emergency room when his girlfriend, Ashley, which is a nurse, was at his side and tended to him because he's doing a documentary on the hospital nurses and the staff and stuff. So that's a perfect storyline as to, what goes on at the emergency room. So Derek really don't want to do it, but he's thinking about it because Ashley keep putting him onto it as well. So as they sitting up there talking, then Andre phone ring and he get up and he step to the side and he was like, "Yeah, what's up, baby?" Like that. I was like, who the hell is he talking to? I was like, is that Shanice calling him for him to leave? Because baby, you late. Now they done had dinner and everything. Like he been there since forever. So he was like, anything for you. And he was like, all right, I'm on my way. So he told Liam he gotta go. And I was like, okay. Where is he going? You done had dinner. So he wasn't trying to get out of not being there. So they was like, did he just ghost us for a booty call? And they both was like, yeah, he did that or whatever, baby. He ghosted them for his booty call. So then they talking about they gonna find him a girlfriend and this and that. There apparently he don't need nobody if he ghosting y'all for a booty call. But Derek said whoever he was talking to and saying he on his way, he ain't serious about them, which he not. I mean, he like Danny, but he ain't serious about Danny like that. Oh, damn, I wasn't even supposed to tell y'all yet. Well, that's who he went and hooked up with. Cause Danny had her falling out with Bill. I was gonna say that. God dog, I talk too much. Anyway, so I guess like we can go on and discuss it. So Danny, after Bill left and him mad or whatever and trying to blame it on her, Danny was the one who called him and he went over to Danny's house and of course they got busy or whatever. And I'll show you at the end because her picture is the last picture. So I'm gonna say that very last part. It's just one little thing that she said at the end. So I'll say that for the end. But he came over there to do what he do, and she told him about everything that went on with her and Bill or whatever. So she want him to help her forget about it. Child, he was like, I'm here for you. What you need, your wish is my command, baby. So then we go here. This is where Haley is telling old girl she demand to know where her husband is. And so she eventually told him, she was like, you don't know what he went over there for or whatever, but she definitely, first she said, that's confidential. She can't tell her that, but she eventually told her anyway that he went over to Danny's house. So Haley just stayed there until he got back. So then we go here. This is Naomi. She's sitting at this bar, but she's not really sitting with her dad. She's just reminiscing about she looked back at this table, and I guess that's the table her and her dad used to sit at, and she remembered him encouraging her for her first case, and he was telling her, you a pit bull or you something like that. He was saying, you got this, you strong, and you can do this or whatever. So I guess that was her first case, and she won. And so he was pretty much, she was reminiscing about him encouraging her, and see how they holding hands or whatever. So that's back when they was cool, and she was just like, thinking about this case that she finna go against him with, thinking about it as her first case. So then we'll go here, and that's what she's doing. She's in her deep thought because she was thinking about that. And then in come her granddad and her grandma. So they sat down, they talking or whatever. And do y'all know, they kept asking her, what she was thinking about, and she mentioned about the lawsuit that with her dad and her granddad. He was like, Vernon said, so you're not dropping that? I thought y'all was gonna settle. He was like, you need to settle that. You don't need to take that to court. And she was like, what? I thought you would be happy that I would, be going through with this as much as he done put our family through like that. And so he was like pretty much telling her every reason why she should not go up against her dad, that they need to settle this. He was like, think about the family. We don't need the family being brought up. He was like, we're going to go through so much scrutiny or whatever. And she was like, what? Like that. And then so she was like, and grandma, tell him how much you disagree now. Remember, her grandmother encouraged her, and her grandmother was on her side with going against her dad. Remember that, right? So now all of a sudden grandma hush puppy, and then she was like, well, listen to your grandfather or whatever. So she pretty much took Vernon's side, and Naomi is just in disbelief because she was like, wait, you the one also helped me decide that I was going to go ahead and I was going to do this. Her and her husband, you know what I'm saying? And her dad helped her decide as well because, baby. So now she looking at her grandma crazy because like now you taking granddad's side or whatever. So she was like, child, she didn't know what to do. So she ended up leaving or whatever. But come to find out, the reason, and I have a clip of that at the end, but since we're talking about it, we're gonna talk about it now. That way it won't be long because that video yesterday was 42 minutes, and I apologize for that video. When I started recording, I was holding the phone the wrong way, and I eventually switched it to the right way, but it still recorded the video like that. So my apologies yesterday about that. But anyway, so when they got home, when Vernon and Anita got home, he was like, yeah, he was like, whatever Bill want. Pretty much he was saying whatever Bill want, that they have to do what Bill wants, and they don't need to make him mad because he got some stuff over their head in regards to the family that can put them under. And I'm thinking it's whatever it has to do with Martin. Another thing, when they were still at the table with Naomi before she left, they also told her that your dad, he doesn't play fair. He was like, your dad, he's a hardball. Like that, they was like, you really don't want to go up against him. He's like not the one to play with. That's what they was pretty much telling her. So she looking at her granddad like, so you think I'm the one to play with or whatever, but he know that her dad is corrupt. She don't know. She know how her dad is as far as business wise, but she don't know the deep dark secrets that her grandfather and them got and her dad got, because he ain't the only one with secrets. But yeah, y'all. So we already discussed this. This was before Andre left and before he got the phone call. So then y'all, and I misspoke yesterday because I guess that's why I don't like to watch the previews of the next show, because I guess that was in my head. So remember I told y'all that he was that Jacob right here was you know, thinking strange things about Marcel as well. Not only because of whatever Marcel was trying to let Joey make it, even though they saw him handing the man some money, but I thought he had that Jacob had already seen Joey also handing Marcel the money, but I guess that was on a preview because that didn't happen until today. So this is Jacob. He was getting out of his car and he just so happened to look up. And remember I showed y'all at the beginning of this video, Marcel and Joe is standing outside somewhere, and this is where they was, and so he seen them, and there they go. And I tried to get a clip of him handing the money, but it was blurry, so you couldn't see it, so I deleted it. But yeah, so this is when he seen him hand the money, so he really know it's something going on. So you ignored the fact that he gave that man that money that time, and you try to make me believe like we gotta actually see them do some exchanging money. It doesn't mean anything. And now he doing the same thing with you. Yeah. So you know what Andre did? He go right in there and tell his dad, and look how his dad looking. His dad was like, who else have you told this to? And he was like, nobody but you, like that. So then he done sat here and lied. The chief of police lied and told Jacob that Joey is an informant and he's undercover right now working, well, not undercover, he's an informant working with them, and Marcel is on an undercover case or whatever. And he was like, it's, it's need to know basis, and far as Jacob, he didn't need to know. So he giving him this old crazy but lying but story so Jacob can push back. And that's why he said, who else have you told? And he was like, don't tell nobody else this or whatever, right? Like, child, ain't no undercover stuff going on, because even if it was, you can't tell him still. Like, boy, make it make sense. So then we go here, and that's who we already discussed that. That's who called Andre while he was over to Ashley and Derek house, which was Danny. So he went over to Miss Dupree house, and y'all know she already helping him take, baby, let me get you out your coat and your clothes and all that good stuff, honey. Oh, excuse me. So then we go to the office. When Bill walked in his office, Haley just sitting in there like a stalker. She startled him. I mean, I said it right. She startled him because he didn't know she was off in there. His secretary was already gone, so he didn't know that somebody was. He was like, "What are you doing here?" She said, "I was looking for my husband because it's after hours and he wasn't home, so I brought you food, and that's cold." You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "So where were you?" So she was giving him the opportunity, but she pretty much let him know that she knew. She was like, "Yeah, yeah, I talked to your assistant or whatever, so I know where you was. So she was like, but why? Why would you go over there? And she was like, this late at night, like what are you doing over there? So at first he didn't want to tell her. They was going back and forth, back and forth. So he eventually told her he went over there because he don't appreciate the people at the country club, how they treating Haley. And she was like, you didn't. I told you to leave that alone and I can handle it, this and that. He was like, just like how I told you to leave the stuff with Naomi alone. She said, when you told me that, I left it alone. But she really didn't. She went and ran to the next daughter. Like, girl, get your life. Get your life. So she called herself mad at him about going over there, but he still didn't tell her that he kissed Danny. And I know Danny is gonna tell it. So she was like, make sure you tell your wife that you kissed me. She kept telling him that. So baby, she gonna make sure that everybody know that he kissed her. Child, so him and Haley, they made up or whatever. They on their way to the house with the cold food. Talking about they finna go heat some things up. And he said, my he ain't talking about the food. Child, they so nasty. So freaky. So then we go here. And in the sheriff, I don't remember his name. I don't remember Malachi Senior name. But he fussing at Marcel, but he acting like, they got their back turned. He like, man, what did I tell you? He said, didn't I tell you that my boy was already on to you? Why are you doing stuff and then you doing it right here at our back door? You know what I'm saying? So I guess they was outside of the police station. I was wondering where they were, but I'm still not sure if that's exactly where they were. But yeah, he like, then you doing stuff right here at our back door. And now he coming to me, questioning me again about your corruption. This is the second time. He's like, why would you do it at our own back door? He was like, you being sloppy like that. And he was like, my bad, chief. He was like, my bad. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to take care of it. Shall, and while he checking him, look at there. Jacob walk in, honey, and neither one of them seen him. I wonder if, because it went off before he got a response, if he probably not gonna say nothing to them. He probably just gonna be watching them, and then he was like, you know what's gonna happen if this go to Eternal Affairs, if Jacob say something to Eternal Affairs. So child, so his daddy is crooked. I said the sheriff was crooked before I knew the sheriff was his daddy when Danny shot at the wedding, because they were saying how close the sheriff was with the Dupree man. And they would remember how that investigative detective, that investigative journalist was there and was saying that, he was. And then, oh yeah, and Smitty, he was like, I would want to know how close they are and what type of ties or corruption they got going on. So yeah, they already thinking about it. That's what Smitty and the other journalist was talking about. I was like, sure. And that's why I was like, Smitty ain't a part of the family. He a part of the family, but he ain't a part of the family. Because why would you say that? But sure, that's what they want to know. And now Jacob see, and this is a closer up of Jacob, like, like my dad is in on this BS. And that's why he keep trying to get me off of Marcel. Sure, yeah. The corruption is real. So then Jacob go and meet with his wife, and he about to tell her about the corruption, but then he look at her face and he was like, well, I was coming to tell you, but what's going on with you? So she tell him about, how her grandparents act like they don't want him going against her dad, and they act like they scared. So he didn't get the response, and he haven't had a chance to tell her about his dad and Marcel and Joey, because it ended up going off. That was their last thing. And so when we came here, I already told y'all about this part here. So this is after Anita and Vernon left the dinner with Naomi, and they were saying they got to do whatever they got to do to not make Bill upset, because they don't want Bill to bring out the Dupree family secrets. Child. And then here go the end. I said I was going to keep y'all for the end. So normally, y'all know when Danny called her little boy toy over there, right? They do their thing and she putting him out, right? So she told him before they started, she was like, yeah, I might need a couple of rounds, some extra doses tonight. He was like, I got whatever you need, boo. Like, whatever, what you want, I got it, baby. Yo, young tenderoni, yo, young zaddy is here, okay? So they did their first round. Then she was like, yeah, I need another round. Then she said, and after that, she said, I may need some rounds throughout the night and early in the morning, like some breakfast rounds. So in other words, she done told him that she want him to spend the night. Oh, oh. And he say, I'm down, queen. And that was the end, y'all. Tell me what y'all think about this episode. Here, leave y'all comments down below. And again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button. Click that bell notification for all so that you never miss an upload. Help your girl get in and remain in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys. And as we say before we go, love, peace, and hair grease. Smooches. Bye. We're out. Happy Wednesday.